Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another scene of London Ascending. And this scene begins almost immediately after the, well, you could call it social event, but it was more like a social fight that happened after the actual fighting in at Dana's Fight Club, as Diane is making her way over to the hotel, if I'm correct, where the Queen has her residence, and she'll go up to the lobby and she will ask for them to ring the suite that the Queen stays in. Won't say it as that. She will name the actual number of the suite, and to ask if its inhabitant is willing to have a meeting with her, and we'll make sure that she will point out that it's urgent.
And as soon as they ring up, the receptionist would just kind of nod her head and say, "Yes, certainly, ma'am," and say, "Someone will be with you immediately. And she is expecting you." And it's almost like she doesn't actually say, but it's implied that she knows, who is up there, and
Mm-hmm.
and one of the Queen's staff would show up just a couple of minutes later and escort Diane up to the suite and open the door and usher her inside. And the Queen is sitting there alone, except for the huge bodyguard guy that stands behind her all the time. And she would just smile and say, "Diane, please join me."
My Queen. And Diane kind of she sits down, but she is drumming her fingers on her knees. Almost looks we almost say that she might look nervous a little bit, or is looking to distract herself from something. And then she kind of, after a couple of seconds, she fixes her gaze on the Queen. Did you receive my note?
I did. I also have just spoken to Sebastian. I
I
hear it has
see.
been an eventful evening.
Yes.
Hmm. Well, I shall speak with, and she kind of smiles a little, Camilla and Garnet. And she kind of raises an eyebrow because no names were actually mentioned in the note. She's assuming that is who
Yeah.
is meant.
They are not. They are not.
Oh, have they been standing in your way?
Yes. It's not just that, my Queen, if I can be frank.
Please do so.
I noticed that your Childer is a laughingstock to almost the entire court.
Her face would darken. Hmm. He said as much. They were laughing at him, I believe.
He was sent to his room by the seneschal, and I'm using those exact same words.
Hmm.
You want me to raise him as a fighter, right? You want me to teach him combat.
Yes.
The boy that I saw standing in the fight club was a trained puppet, and I had the feeling he'd received training from more than just you alone.
Well, I confess I have not been able to do much with him as yet. It is only in recent nights that he has become susceptible to any form of guidance, to be honest with you.
Have you told him to be an alpha?
No, that did not come from me. I
Exactly.
I understand that that is a little joke that our seneschal has with Sebastian.
If you want your child to be someone that people will look up to, this is not the way. I tried to take him away from this situation by bringing him to the home of my sire that I currently stay with as well, so that we can, first of all, have training the way that we do without any interference. And second, so that he'll have a chance to develop himself and to be his own person instead of that of someone else's.
She would nod as she listens. And Garnet and Camilla were against this?
Very much so.
What reasoning did they give?
The reasoning they gave was that he would have more protection here. They seemed to think that we would take him out in the woods.
Well, if they are worried for Sebastian's safety, I can send along a couple of my own people with him. That should put their minds at rest. I can assure you, my people will keep out of your way and merely ensure that you are all safe while training Sebastian.
If that is your wish, then I will accept that. And no doubt your seneschal will take up word with you as well. He was not very pleased, to say it nicely.
I will speak with Garnet. But Sebastian has expressed a profound wish to go with you and learn from you. He appears to be a most eager student.
I wish he would get the foolish notion out of his head.
Foolish notion?
He seems to want to touch my face a couple of times this night.
And you do not find him attractive? Charming?
He has looks. Yes, he is pretty. He is as charming as a box of wipies. No offense. He, like I said, at this point has a personality of a puppy and a lapdog. Is being pushed back and forth in whatever way the members of the court seem fit. That is in no way attractive for anyone.
Yes, since the incident that occurred with Sebastian, the with the Malkavians, well, he hasn't been his usual self. I can assure you he is ordinarily a much more strong-willed boy than he is currently. I am hoping in time that his will shall return. And perhaps at that point you will see the true Sebastian and will feel differently regarding him. But I shall speak with him and shall ask him to control his desires, let's say.
If it's all the same to you, I would like to take him along to our place immediately.
Well, I'm sure he will be most delighted to see you. He is currently in his apartment in my tower, and Diane would probably be aware of the tower that she meant. It's like a kind of exclusive high-rise block. And
Probably.
yeah, you may. I shall call ahead. You may go there and collect him.
Very well.
He will be expecting you.
Do you have any more wishes, my queen?
Just that you teach him to the best of your ability and keep him safe while doing so.
I will do my utmost best. I will not say he won't get bruised or might lose a finger or something, but nothing permanent.
Oh, that is all I ask. He was quite pleased with himself. I hear he threw his first punch this evening.
I am afraid I have not witnessed it.
Although he did mention that you had broken his beautiful nose, I do hope it is straightened sufficiently.
If it
But,
hasn't been done yet, then I will make sure I will do it.
well, I thank you. He certainly didn't seem to mind your your and she kind of thinks about her words. Your tough love. Let's put it that way.
He will need to learn that even his best punch may not be good enough if he doesn't keep a watchful eye on his surroundings all the time.
Well, he clearly has a lot to learn.
He does.
But as I said, he appears to be a most willing student. So,
Let's hope so.
well, I
I
leave
will
him
leave you
in
then.
your yes, I leave him in your capable care.
Very well.
I shall have a couple of my people sent to your sire's domain within the night.
I will make sure that he's aware.
Wonderful. Well, I thank you for your time.
I thank you for yours. And she'll give a slight bow and then dismisses herself from the room. And I think with that, we can end the scene. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. Thank you, ST, for STing. And we will hope to see you again. Good night.